So we're now coming to the last session. It's a paper by Dr. Valente on in vitro activity of crude extract of Mexican lemon, that's Citrus aurantifolia, on Staphylococcus aureus isolated from the smallholder dairy herds. Dr. Valente.
Good evening, sirs. I am giving a little speak.
Keep it close to you.
Oh, that's thing. I giving a little speak about of the in vitro effects of the lemon crude extracts on Staphylococcus aureus. Is the potence for to use in dairy herds and in small holder production. Well, we know that the Staphylococcus aureus is a most prevalent bacteria isolated from the udder in dairy cows. Another situation is the possibility that to produce a cross-infection between humans and cows and to decontaminate the dairy products and probably to represent public health aspects, especially if we have methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus or something potential virulence factors are with the bacteria. Well, the most important task is to develop some alternative treatments in the prevention of the mastitis produced by Staphylococcus aureus, and especially when in our zone is the prevalent a few cases of the methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus in dairy herds. Well, these figures represent the potential risk for the Staphylococcus aureus in different sources, but our are interested in the farm. The farm is a potence for to contaminate the animal foods and through the unpasteurized dairy products in our regions produce a lot of that. And especially is represents the risk with another animals like another species involved in the farms, to contaminate the farm environments, and especially the high risk for the human infection. The main objective of this research is to evaluate the in vitro activity of the lemon extracts peels from obtained from the region of the Michoacan, and after we produce in vitro tests like to testing the Staphylococcus aureus and the lemon extracts in different dosages. The other material methods, we had 94 isolations from dairy herds, the lemon crude extracts by peels with the dry mass with the still water and ethanol. The microsafety test was produced in a dilution the 1 in 10 for to use the test. The test was measured by Mueller-Hinton-Agar and the inhibition test. The inhibition was expressed by resistance and sensible and produce a ANOVA test for to develop the proof. This was carried out with Staphylococcus aureus American typing culture 43300 as a positive control for the methicillin resistance, and another was for the use the 2929 and 345 to the Staphylococcus aureus is a sensible of oxacillin. Well, this is show the special areas. This is with the strain and the control strain. This is for the 1943 for to detect the zones are inhibited, and those is produced by our extracts of the lemon. You can see this very important big zones and different kind of the dilutions. Less dilutions we have a little bit, but and after we shown that those are previously studies related with this kind of the extracts. The conclusions, those results suggest that the potential activity of the in vitro extracts, the lemon peels, it is a potential application for the research to evaluate the phytocompounds and their antimicrobial effects on the Staphylococcus aureus in dairy cattle. At the moment, we are working more with those extracts on the characterization of the type of compounds for to separate those and continuing giving the testing for to produce the better results on that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Valente. You're the first one who finished on time, so we have plenty of time for questions. Can I start the ball rolling? Why did you pick lemon? The Chinese, for example, have several dozen, possibly hundreds of herbs with highly potent antibacterial effects. Why did you pick lemon for this work?
Well, in special because the lemon are used in rural regions of the country, and it is used for human treatment. We select first lemon peels because this is more aromatic compounds, and after we are continuing with another trees parts for to check in that, because we found now more potence with the lemon seeds. It's very effective with an increase in number of the sensitive strains.
Any questions from the floor?
Yeah, just a question. How do you give that? Is that by feeding that lemon to the animal or giving the lemon oil intramammary?
Well, or the potence application in a new future is to produce for the teeth disinfectants, because it's very local and simple method for the people use in the dairy farms. The teeth disinfectant, there is no problem, because Staphylococcus aureus is almost present in many farms out in the skin and the teeth. And the second, I think, is very, very, very important to take by another protocols the lemon oils for to introduce in the intramammary, but at the moment it's not tested yet, but it's a possibility because it's increased in vitro testing with phagocytosis tests are increasing the activity of the phagocytosis with the lemon extracts, but not yet with the oils.
Any other questions?
Well, thank you.
It's second part of the question. Did you evaluate the antimicrobial activity after dilution into milk? Because I am aware of a study that they made in France with essential oils, and they found some antimicrobial activity for different oils, but after dilution into milk, there is no more antimicrobial activity. So, did you try it with?
Well, not at the moment, but first we need to test by in vitro tests, and after to produce some specific compounds for to test in vivo testing in the farms, because usually the people are introducing use the local treatment, but not inside the udder. But I think it's possible because if we observe with some extracts activity of increasing of the activity, the in vitro phagocytosis activity, it's possible to put, but it's necessary to get a more concentrate product and separate some of that to introduce and carry out this type of the experiments. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All that remains for me is to thank all 5 speakers, Hugh Caraman for the keynote talk, Dr. Francos, Dr. Bastan, Dr. Keller, During, and Dr. Valente. Thank you very much for your papers. I would like to add one comment. The question of antimicrobial drug resistance is nearly at Armageddon levels, according to the World Health Organization. All the complementary medicine systems, acupuncture, herbs, homeopathy, they all work on the immune system. And the Chinese have this idea that life is a balance between insult, let's call it external factors, wind, cold, damp, heat, bacteria, trauma. You have insult on one side of the pan and you have good qi, or call it the immune system, on the other side of the pan. If we want to control many of these transmissible diseases, the real key is to improve immunity. We cannot kill these microbes. We can't go around Rambo-like hoping to massacre all viruses and bacteria. We got to work harder on the immune system. Thank you.